Welcome to It's a Wonderful Life. I'm Peggy Hogan, Senior Citizen Coordinator for the City of Florissant. We have a wonderful organization right here in the City of Florissant called T.E.A.M, T-E-A-M. I've invited some people from that organization here to tell our viewers about this organization. So please welcome two of the board members of T.E.A.M, Kate Moore and Pat Piotrowicz. I hope I said your name correctly.
That's
all
fine.
right. So tell us, Pat, you want to tell us what is T.E.A.M?
Okay, T.E.A.M, as you said, stands for the Emergency Assistance Ministry, and it's a food pantry that serves the Florissant and Hazelwood clients in need. We give them food, you know, as much as they need it each month. Okay.
Okay. Well, what churches and organizations are involved with T.E.A.M?
Okay, right now we have 33 member churches, and these churches have food drives, and they make donations to T.E.A.M whenever they can. It might be monthly, it might be, you know, every couple of weeks, and they also, the ones that don't do the food drives and that, will come up and do repair work or work in the pantry to assist in giving out the food.
Okay. Well, when did T.E.A.M get started?
It originally, well, in 1985, there were churches in the areas that would give out food, and they all got together and decided it might be a better way if they consolidated and made one central pantry to take care of all the residents in need. So they officially opened up in 1986, and we were in several different locations until we found this one on St. Catherine. It's 265 St. Catherine, which is right there, you know, at the corner of St. Catherine and St. Ferdinand.
Yeah, down there close to Washington, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So what are the hours of operation there?
Okay, we're open 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, we're open 10 to 2, and on Saturdays, we're open from 10 to 12.
Let's talk about the people who you serve at T.E.A.M, the
Okay.
people who come in there.
Okay, we take care of residents in Florissant and Hazelwood who live in the zip codes of 63031, 33, and 34. Hazelwood 63042, and we also take care of people that live in the Burke City area, which is actually Hazelwood, but it is a Ferguson zip code, 63135.
Okay.
Basically, anybody that comes in, we can give them food. If you know, if they're having a tough time, either they've lost their job or their house, or they've been sick and haven't been able to work, they come in, and it just takes a matter of a few minutes to sign them up, and they fill out a form. We just need to know who lives in the household with them, and we don't ask for any proof of income. We don't get their social security number or anything like that. People, you know, pretty much tell the truth, and we're giving food out. We're not giving a lot of money out or anything, so food is what everybody needs. And they come in with a picture ID and 2 pieces of current mail, and then we sign them up. And then after that, they are allowed to come in every 30 days, which comes to about once a month. And you have to use your judgment. Sometimes that may vary by a day or two. And we also give out USDA products to anyone who lives in St. Louis County that would either call or come by. And as long as they say they live in the county and they have, you know, proof of that, we do give them food. So you don't have to necessarily be a resident to get something to tide you over, and we can then try to find them an appropriate pantry near where they live that they could go to.
Well, unfortunately, I heard you're pretty busy right now, and I say unfortunately, you know, for obvious reasons, but how many families would you say you serve? currently down there?
Okay, we have probably about 3,500 families who are currently active, and not every family comes in every month. Some may come in every other month or every couple of months. We have some people that when you talk to them and you check their folder and you find out they haven't been in for maybe a year, but they're experiencing another rough time. So out of these 3,500 families, that comes to about 12,000 people. And what I wanted to tell you was when we do our reporting on what we give out, okay, normally for 2013, they count each family that comes in, and each month it's normally between 800 and 1,000. So that computes to about 10,000 families, 11,000 families a year, which comes to about 35,000 people all total that we've, given food to. But, in reality, these people, that's just to show you the number of times that we have given food out.
That's incredible.
It is, and it's just a state of the economy right now.
Wow,
So.
it's incredible to help that many people, though. That's
Right,
wonderful.
right.
How does TEAM get the funding and the food to give to all these people?
Okay, we have a big, about 50% of our food comes from the food bank, which is a huge warehouse operation there in Earth City. And we also can buy food from them with cash donations that we have. They give us USDA products, but then we pay averaging about 14 cents a pound right now to buy food. And every third Wednesday of the month, we go pick up, sometimes it can be from like 18,000 pounds to 35,000 pounds of food. And we now have the firefighters from Hazelwood and Florissant Valley Fire Protection Districts who come there to help the people that work at the pantry, because these firefighters are younger and they're very, very fast. They can unload the trucks within a half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh, what a great idea.
Yeah, and that gets them involved with the community too. We also have our churches that Kate will tell you about, and the churches give us donated food and cash donations, and we have different organizations. We have the Florissant Rotary Club, we have Meals on Wheels, Lions Club, different ones that contribute to us. The Seroptimists also give us a cash donation, and those ladies come up and work a lot on Saturdays in the pantry. We have the Boy Scouts who collect food for us, and
that's when you get the little bag on your door?
Right,
Okay.
right. And all of that food now goes to the food pantry where it's stored, and then they divide it up and give certain amounts to TEAM and other pantries. And then we have the Girl Scouts who collect, it's called April Showers, and that's another with a bag at your door.
Yes.
And that's where they collect personal items, and they bring those up to TEAM, and then they're all sorted out, and when the clients come in to get food, they can look through this and pick up items maybe that they haven't been able to buy for a long time, like lotions and even like nail polish and lipsticks and things like that. So we also have the Florissant and Hazelwood fire departments also have barrels, and we've got sites at some of the community centers in the different communities where people can bring their food donations to, and then we pick that up and bring it up to TEAM. Just trying to get more and more people aware of the need. And then we have businesses, some of the big ones. We have Boeing, where I'm retired from, and we have, I think it's called Flow Row Management, State Farm, and even Macy's. These are just some of the ones that give to us. And we get a lot of donations from Schnucks, Shop and Save, and Deerbergs. I have a newfound appreciation for these grocery stores, because anything that you can give to the clients, I mean, the carts are filled with pizzas. They have frozen meats from the grocery stores. They have, sometimes they get deli sandwiches, they get bakery goods. anything that makes it look more normal, and just to see the people's faces when they get that cart, and maybe it's something they haven't been able to get for a long time. It could even be a decorated cake. We get those donated.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That would
Yeah,
be nice.
for birthdays and that. And we do have Operation Food Search, and they go through the grocery stores, and we get assigned to one, and we get the ladies together. And last year we were at the Schnucks up on Lindbergh, and we're able to greet the customers as they come in, and we gave them a little list of things that we were short on. So it just made it real easy.
Well,
most of them
nice.
would pick up extra food and bring us the extra bags when it was over with.
That's
so
good.
yeah, that was very good. And then we've started having fundraisers. Let's see, we also have a trivia night. We try to do that. We used to have a golf tournament, but we're not doing that this year. The Florissant Seniors Group had a very nice food collection and cash donation for us. And since I've been on the board for about 2 years, we've gone to Applebee's, Papa Murphy's, and DeLeo's with a fundraiser where we would get the word out to the church members, and it would be announced at the churches, and we had flyers, and then all the board members and everybody would send this to their business contacts, friends and family, to support the business. And our recent one was at DeLeo's this past Sunday, DeLeo's Cafe and Deli, and it was our most successful one yet. We took in almost $1,100.
Wow,
and
that's great.
It was great to see all the people that came to the cafe, and
It had to be good for the cafe also.
it was, and they like to reach out to the community and give back, and it's our way of then helping them, because we can get the word out through our network, Facebook and our website and that, and it's just a good time. A lot of people, that's an easy way for people to come have a good meal, and then a certain percentage of the sales goes to T.E.A.M.
That's great.
And we do a gift basket. We have raffles where we ask for donations for that.
That's always good.
Yeah, so that
Fun.
works out. It's a win-win all the way around.
That's great.
So.
Well, Kate, maybe you could tell us, how does T.E.A.M operate? Does it have a paid staff at all?
No, there is no paid staff. Everyone at T.E.A.M is a volunteer, so we're a 100% volunteer-run organization.
Wow. Well, so that means you have a lot of volunteers, I would take it.
We have volunteers in the pantry. We have volunteers on the board who partake in different activities, and we have volunteers in our churches who are sort of an extension of us, who help get the word about the things we're trying to do, and so everybody pitches in, and it's all volunteer.
Wow. So what type of volunteers, what all do they do? What are some of the actual jobs that they do if they would come and volunteer with you?
Well, we have.
What do they need? What do you need?
We always need volunteers.
Yes.
We have a great staff, but we'd always like to expand that, and we'd always like to have other people we can call on, and also other people who might bring additional strengths. We have different roles in the pantry. We have sorters and warehouse workers who sort the food and stock the shelves and that sort of thing and get that prepared. We have case workers who interact with the clients. So someone might call in the morning and say, I need to come in today, I really need to pick up some food. And they'll set an appointment for that person, so there's a specific time when they can come in. And they know they're being accepted, they know they'll have food to take home, and when they come in, the caseworker works with them to do all the documentation and everything, and then sends the information to the back to have that processed. We have pantry recorders who keep track of what is being sent out that day, so that we can understand what amount of food are we bringing in and what are we sending out the front door. Pantry workers who literally go around and fill the carts, fill the bags, pull the food off of the shelves. So when we say it's a household of 2 or 6, these people take that number and go around and pull out the appropriate amounts of food from the different sections and bag it up for them to take. And we have drivers who go to different locations and pick up donations for us, so maybe grocery stores or restaurants, things like that.
Wow. Quite an operation to
It
get
is.
all that to come together for T.E.A.M. That's great. So that means both of you are volunteers. How did you get started with T.E.A.M?
I've known about T.E.A.M for a very long time because I've grown up in Florissant and always heard about it. As I've gotten a little bit older, I have had more of a pull toward it. I have felt more like it is something I should be participating in. A few years ago, I threw a birthday party for my mom, but instead of a party, we had a food drive. And she liked it because she'll only ever tell me to go buy her earrings from the dime store, so we knew we had to do something. So we had a food drive, and it was a great success and had wonderful response. Then last year I decided for my birthday party, instead of a regular party, to have a food drive, and rented out Davison Park right next to the pantry, and stayed there all day, and people came by and dropped off bags or cans, and we also had a spare change collection. So if somebody came by and had 50 cents, they could drop it in. And I had gone to I'm tracking off a little bit here, but I had gone to some different restaurants in the area and asked them if they would donate prizes, so that anybody who contributed anything, and it doesn't matter if it's a carload of food or a dime, would be eligible to win a prize for participating, just to acknowledge that any positive action is worth that reward.
That's a great idea.
The response was wonderful. The restaurants that I talked to were fantastic and so supportive, and we had a wonderful turnout, and it was super. So Pat and I met about that event. She was helping me coordinate, and after that we talked about board membership, and I was interested, so here we are.
I just want to interject. I had never seen any activity come together like that. I was so impressed with the amount of food that she took in. It filled two big bins, and then we had a couple carts, and people were just having a good time there.
Wow.
So
That's
I knew she had great potential.
And now she's a board member.
Right.
Well, how did you get started, Pat?
Well, I got started, I was still working at Boeing, and I just decided I needed to get involved, and I wanted to go to a food pantry because I just felt that was a good place to focus on. And so I called Joanne Donovan, our president, and I had been a councilwoman in Hazelwood and for 5 years, and she and I knew each other. So when I called to find out about volunteering, she said we have an opening on the board and asked me if I'd be interested. And I found out that Hazelwood was not all that involved as much. So I thought, well, this will be my goal, is to get Hazelwood into this a little bit more, because we had clients that came there, so it was a good thing. And so anyway, I became a caseworker, and that's the job. I love doing that because I'm a people person. I've got a few health restrictions. I can't lift a lot of weight. So that was right up my alley, basically, with kind of what I was doing at Boeing. And I like being able to talk to the people when they call in. You get to hear a lot of stories. Most people are very upbeat and warm when they come in, and then you've got the people that come in that are upset. I've had quite a few that were on the verge of tears, and then we would sit, and when they cry, I cry, and they've either just lost their job or their house, or they've got cancer or some other illness, and it's just really a time to help them keep their pride and their dignity, but assure them that we can help them there. If we can give them food, then that's less money that they have to spend on that, and they can put that towards something else. But the main thing is, you just have to be open to people. Like I say, you have to treat them with respect and that, and it doesn't take long to get processed, so it's just this little time that you have with people. But every time I work I usually work the first Saturday of the month, and then I'll sub some other days, but everybody that comes in there, there's always one or two that really tug at your heart. And there's just two little stories. One was a little girl who came in with her mom to get some food, and we got their cart ready, and the mother was outside putting the food into her car. The little girl came back in and asked if we had any milk left because she got some cereal, and I went back to check for her, and we didn't have any milk. the mother came back in and I said, I'm really sorry, but we don't have any milk here right now. And she said, oh, that's okay. She's used to eating her cereal with water. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
I haven't, fortunately.
Yeah, I did one time and I thought it was awful. But that is the normal way for a lot of people. They do without things that we always take for granted. And there was just one other story. There was a gentleman who came in who hadn't had any food to eat for a couple of days. So he got his food, he went out to his car, and he stood there opening up food and eating it before he even packed it into his car. He just was that hungry. That's the kind of stuff that makes you realize, you know, that there's a good need for this, and we're all pulling together here, you know, to make it happen. So
how that would be such a rewarding thing to do,
right?
You know, when you see that,
right? And I needed that in my life. I mean, they give to me a lot too, you know. So, yeah, it's been good.
Well, on that note, so you do need volunteers right now, right?
We do need volunteers, and I think one of the things that's important to share is we have a lot of senior citizens that are volunteers, and we have a large group of people, but everybody has something they bring, and some people might have limitations, so they work in a certain area doing certain things. And I would just want to make sure that everyone knew they were invited to come and find out what opportunities there might be for them at T.E.A.M, because our feeling is if you want to spend an hour a week doing math for us, you know, adding up some numbers or something like that, anything that a person would be comfortable doing, we'd like to welcome that. In order to fill out a volunteer form, all you have to do is come by or email me, and I'll give my email address in a bit, but we would really like to have a larger group and to let people know they're invited, because this is not just something else in the community, this is your thing in the community, and these are for the people in the community.
That's right.
Well, and I do know from working with senior citizens, we have a great community of senior citizens here that volunteer all over the city of Florissant, and sometimes it's just getting that word out that they need you, they need them there at your organization. So how do they contact you, Kate? How do they contact T.E.A.M?
Well, they're welcome to come by the T.E.A.M office. We're at 265 St. Catherine, so they can come by during the daytime and pick up a form if they'd like, or they can email me. My email address is katemoreteam@gmail.com. And if anyone wants information about the volunteering or anything like that, they're welcome to write or call. Our number is 831-0879.
Okay.
We are extremely excited to have just launched a new Facebook page. Our Facebook page name is T.E.A.M Food Pantry. We wanted it to be identifiable, and that's how most people know us.
Yes.
And the goal of the page is outreach. We want to reach out to people who have need and let them know we're in the neighborhood. And we want to reach out to people who might want to support and let them know how they can. And so we're using social media to do things like when the circulars come out for the grocery stores in the middle of the week, posting the ads and saying, T.E.A.M is in need of this particular item and it's on sale at Schnucks this week. And you can click on that and see the ad, and it just brings it a little closer to you. And we would like to use that to help people integrate their support into their daily routines. So someone might say, well, I go to Schnucks or I go to Shop and Save and I can pick that up.
Yes.
And, so we'd like to communicate with people that way, but also when there are urgent needs, we want to let them know we're running really low on something or we're completely out and we need some help, and to spotlight different volunteer opportunities, things like that. So
good. Okay. Well, before we close, is there anything else that would you like to add? Anything else before we close? Is there anything we forgot?
I would just like to say that we have two things existing, and T.E.A.M is in the middle. We have need that exists, and we have resource that exists. And T.E.A.M is in the middle trying to create an overlap. So that is the only way we will alleviate this need, is to provide resources that help people. To do that, we rely on people's compassion. We rely on them supporting their community, identifying with people, or just saying, that would be awful. I really want to to help prevent that for somebody. And I would like people to know that impact is not a car full of food. Impact is not 6 grocery bags full of food. Now that's fantastic, don't get me wrong. Impact is saying, I'm going to pick up this box of cereal and drop it off at T.E.A.M. That box of cereal feeds a kid in the morning, or a box of mac and cheese feeds a kid at night. And that's the difference, and it doesn't have to be huge. As long as it exists, it makes a difference.
That's wonderful. I think you're making a great difference in our community, and I thank you both for joining me here today. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Pat, did you want to add anything before we close?
I would just like to add something for all the volunteers that work, 6 days a week up at the pantry,
Yes.
and sometimes 7 days a week, and for all the other people who do things for T.E.A.M, whether it's in their communities, their businesses, or whatever. Without those pantry workers, that T.E.A.M facility would not operate. And without all the volunteers, I always tell everybody it takes a whole team to make T.E.A.M work. So it's a blessing. So,
Yes.
thank
All right.
you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our show today, and thank you for joining me on It's a Wonderful Life.